All right, how we feeling out there, ladies and gentlemen? This is yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming to you from beautiful downtown Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 7th Street, the new home for In My Own Words, the podcast, hottest show in the streets, where you discuss Alabama football news, notes, and information. As always, people, be sure to drop that thumbs up on the show and subscribe. That lets us know here at TDA to continue dropping you the best in news, notes, and information. The channel, the network, because of you, the fan, up to 7,000 subscribers strong on the YouTube channel. But first and foremost, got to get into the big topic of conversation right now, and that would be the quarterback race for the spring of 2020. And despite the fact that people hate to see Tua Tagovailoa go, sad to see him leave, would have loved to have seen him a full year healthy, a full year at the peak of his powers, doing everything he wants to do in terms of throwing the football. He has decided to take that jump to the NFL draft. But Alabama has 4 capable young men that can lead this team. And it starts off with Mac Jones, going into his redshirt junior year in the fall out of Jacksonville, Florida. And here's somebody that a lot of people don't give much of an opportunity to be successful, but when he gets adequate reps, when he gets time on the field, he's actually pretty productive. Here's somebody that has been a winner in every spot he has been in, from elementary school, middle school, high school, of course, led the Bowl School to a Class 4A state championship in Florida as a senior in 2016. Decided at first he was going to go to Kentucky, flip that commitment to Alabama, joining the generational talent in Tua Tagovailoa. And for a while, Mac Jones was kind of the afterthought. He was behind Jalen Hurts. He was behind Tua, kind of minding his own business, being patient, sitting back in the cut, doing the scout team things. And then, of course, Jalen takes that move on to Oklahoma, and it's just Mac and Tua. Everybody excited for Tua. Mac still practicing hard, working hard, putting in the effort. But for a lot of people at that time, it was, if there was ever a moment that something were to happen to Tua, an injury or something of that nature, and Tua could not go, people were kind of worried that if Mac Jones was to go out there on the field, he would not be able to operate, run, manipulate the offense the same way Tua would do it. And though he was thrown into the line of duty against Tennessee after Tua hurt his ankle, Mac Jones held his own, got the starting nod against Arkansas, got all the practice reps to have the starting nod against the Hogs, played well. And then in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, and I know a lot of people say, well, Stephen, he had the 2 pick sixes. One of those 2 pick sixes I put more so on Steve Sarkisian than Mac Jones, because by the goal line, you got a big 6'2", 230-pound back in Najee Harris. Get yourself in the heavy package and run the doggone football. That's what I would have done. The other interception was kind of some miscommunication there between Mac and Jerry Jeudy, but despite the turnovers, things happen. He bounced back after every single play, had 335 passing yards at season high, 4 touchdowns, really hooked up with Jalen Waddle, gave Alabama every chance to win that game and put the Crimson Tide in position to win the football game. And then also you look at the Citrus Bowl against Michigan. I mean, the guy was on fire. 16 for 25 passes completed, 327 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Looked comfortable, calm, cool, collected, confident, stepping up in the pocket, making pinpoint throws down the field, had the 85-yard bomb to Jerry Jeudy to get the party going in Orlando, Florida, Camping World Stadium throughout the season. In the games he played in, Mac Jones, 1,503 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, just 3 picks. Now, while I feel as though Alabama's perfectly fine with Mac Jones being the guy, and Jones has earned that right from how he played to be the day one starter, a lot of you kind of feel like as much as we like Mac Jones, as much as he's a good kid, he's a good young man, he hasn't done anything to hurt the program, hurt the team, hurt the organization. He's a good quarterback. He'll win you some games, but, Jones, not the championship level quarterback that Alabama needs to have. A lot of you kind of feel like, Jones can get you to the doorstep, right? He'll win you 10, 11, 12 games. He can get you to the doorstep of a college football playoff title game, but can he win you the title game? A lot of you feel like it's got to be somebody else that takes you over that hump and win you the title game. But the number to call in to be a part of this conversation, 334-654-9385. Once again, that number, 334-654-9385, to be a part of the conversation here on In My Own Words, the podcast. You can also text the show with that number. You can tweet yours truly at Coaching M. Smith on Twitter. We also have a glorious YouTube chat line, which my man, the maestro JP, John Peterson's kind of running right now. Hey, John, how's that chat line looking? We already got folks going live there on the chat line, so definitely take part in that. But the number one more time to call and be a part of the conversation, that is 334-654-9385. Because the question I want to throw out here to you guys is Mac Jones enough to get Alabama a national championship, or does it have to come from someone else? And the other people I'm referring to, you got three other guys behind Mac Jones. You got Taulia Tagovailoa, the younger brother of Tua. You've got Paul Tyson, somebody of whom I'm very high on. He redshirted this past season, his freshman year, out of Trussville, Alabama, Hewitt Trussville High School, the great-grandson of legendary tight coach Paul W. Bear Bryant. And then you have Bryce Young, the 5-star from Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California, a guy who lit it up at the All-American Bowl in Texas, a guy that throughout his high school career, we're talking about more than 13,000 passing yards, 153 total touchdowns in his career, and that's the young man that a lot of people are high on. But starting this off here with Taulia Tagovailoa, who plays high school ball at Thompson High in Alabaster. At 5'11", 208 pounds, I mean, here's somebody that looks like we got our first call in the queue. JP, who we got calling in? Welcome into In My Own Words, the podcast. What's on your mind? Doing fantastic, man, and yourself. Now, before we let you go here, Jared, I got to ask you one question here, and appreciate you for calling in. But the question I got to leave with you here is, for a lot of fans out there, and I mentioned there's nothing that they really hate about Mac. It's just, I guess people felt so spoiled by Tua that you're wondering, okay, Tua's gone, who could be the guy that could give us the next Tua? And it's kind of unfair to make that comparison because there's not too many Tua Tagovailoas out there. Do you feel like in the mindset of most people, they want Bryce more because they feel like with Mac, we take a step back? Is that the case?
It just, he doesn't really have the look sometimes of just a guy that can get you there. I think it's very similar to Jacob Coker or some of the other quarterbacks that Bama fans didn't want. But again, if you look at what Mac Jones has done, and if people pay attention to it, they would realize that this could be the guy that, there is no reason for Bryce Young, at least for now, to really step in. Now, if he proves it, if he steps in there during the spring and during the summer, and if he outduels Mac Jones fair and square, of course he absolutely deserves the job. But if Mac Jones, for now, this is his job not to lose. If he goes in there, he balls during the spring and the summer, there's no reason for him not to lose it, because over the last 4 games that we've seen him play, he has shown no sign of why he doesn't deserve to be the starting quarterback.
Well, thank you so much, Jared, for your call. I appreciate you leaving your thoughts there, on that conversation.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Have a good day.
That was Jared calling in, leaving some thoughts there on Mac Jones and the quarterback race in terms of Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Paul Tyson, and Bryce Young. Well, we're going to continue a little bit more of this conversation, but right now we're going to go to our first commercial break.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. With Will Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WillSports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Back in live here on the show, In My Own Words, the podcast. We had a caller that was trying to get in before the commercial break. Definitely want to encourage you to call back in. Phone lines are open. Definitely call back in. Whoever that was trying to get in before the break here. Once again, that number, 334-654-9385. A number to call and to be a part of the hottest show on the streets for Alabama football content. 334-654-9385 as we continue the conversation on the quarterback race for spring ball. And the question, is Mac Jones enough? Is Mac Jones enough to get this team, to get this program to a national championship, or will it take somebody else to win the title? We got the caller back in queue. How we doing this evening? You're on In My Own Words with Stephen Smith. What's going on?
Stephen Smith, what's up, man? I called in right before the commercial and I got whacked, but I'm back on. I'm back on the podcast. Tell us all about it, bro. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing outstanding, man, and yourself?
Doing great. We're calling you from up here in Walker County, Alabama. I noticed today there, and I was going to tell you to drop the word. The Roach Motel is going to be back in Tuscaloosa. Freddie Roach, I think we're going to have a good hire there, Stephen Smith. I don't know what you think about it, but I do believe he'll bring McKinley Jackson with him. When Freddie's in town and he's in town, we ain't got nothing but AAA on the defense. Tell me, what do you think, my man?
I like the, you know what? I 100% love the Roach hire. Now, me personally, I would have liked to have seen Bo Davis back here, just due to the job that Bo Davis did in his 2 stints. The first stint, 2007 to 2010, and then 2014 to 2015 with the sacks he was able to create on the defensive line. But this is why I really like the Freddie Roach hire. First and foremost, he played here. He played at Alabama under Mike Shula from 2002 to 05. He played with Juwan Simpson. He played with D'Amico Ryans. He played with Simeon Castilla. So he not only knows the culture, but he knows what it means to be on that field. And that is invaluable experience right there. And you mentioned the McKinley Jackson kid. Freddie Roach has a great relationship with that young man out of Mississippi. So he's going to come in, with Roach, and a guy that did a great job building up Ole Miss's defensive line. At the same time, a stomp down recruiter can relate to a lot of these young men, not just on the football side, but also in life. You get a guy that's played here. He's been around with Coach Saban. He's a great recruiter. He's also a really good schemer, and he gets the maximum effort from his players. I love the Roach move.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I was looking forward to the Bo Davis also there, But either one, I think we're going to have a good hire there, and I'm excited to see Freddie back. And hopefully he can bring the McKinley Jackson boy with him. And with what we've got on defense is coming in, and with him, I think we could have a bang-up defense that might we might be back in the sack business, bro. Sack business this year, 10-4.
Now, the one thing you got to be proud of now is with Dylan Moses back, no more of the defensive backs making all the calls.
Absolutely. We got to have somebody in the middle of the field that can make the calls, that don't have to run up from the back end to get everybody set and then go back to the back end and play the job. You're exactly right. You spoke the word on the man. But all right, Stephen, it's good talking to you. I always listen to the podcast. This is Waylon Coburn. Always listen to you on YouTube. You do a great job. Keep your fingers crossed. I think we're going to have a good season coming up, bro. We'll talk to you again in the future. We out of here from Walker County. See you later. Toodaloo, Stephen.
Appreciate it, man. He's calling in out of Walker County, giving us some good vibes there on the Freddie Roach move. JP, now, before we go back to the Mac Jones situation here, I remember you and I talked off the air a bit how, your brother came to UA in 2003. You didn't quite get the jump onto it in 2008, but just off the cusp of this move to get Freddie Roach, you cool with it? I'm cool with it also. So it's gonna be fun having Freddie Roach in Tuscaloosa. But getting back into, of course, Mac Jones. Is Mac Jones enough? And once again, the number to call in, 334-654-9385 to be a part of, in my own words, the podcast, 334-654-9385. Is Mac Jones enough, or does Alabama have to have somebody else in order to win the national championship? And we left off on Talia Tagovailoa, who played his high school ball at Thompson High in Alabaster. Here's a guy that's 5'11". Well, they give him 5'11", but he's more than likely 5'10", 205 pounds, a guy that can extend the play on the run. He is a bit more athletic than what Tua was, but as far as the arm talent is concerned, that's where the wild card comes in with Leah. Due to, to me, at times I feel like the coaching staff did not do a good job of really getting Talia to throw the ball, or trusting him, as I should say, with the offense to throw the ball in the games he was in. And if we're trying to see, me in terms of media, you guys out there listening as the fan base, when you're trying to see what do you have moving forward at the future at the quarterback position, you would like to see that particular player throw the football, or to see what their skill set is, their mechanics are, how far away are they, or how close are they to being able to really be a great distributor of the ball. So that's one of the things that I do want to see Coach Steve Sarkisian do in spring ball, is get more of Talia throwing the football, timing, accurate, different routes, different reads, go through progressions, maneuver the pocket, but throw the football with pace, throw the football with confidence, throw the football with comfortability, because he's got the athleticism, he's got the want to throw the football, but that arm talent definitely kind of the wild card there with Talia. When you look at Paul Tyson, And here's somebody that not a lot of people talk about at all, and a guy that I've been high on from day one. Here's a guy that, to me, bigger than the name. I know what you're thinking, but Steve, and he's just Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson. That was the only reason why Alabama recruited him, because to carry on the legacy. I'm going to spit this to you right now. Paul Tyson had over 50 offers. He had over 50 offers. He chose Alabama because Alabama represents home for him, and he wants to defend the home front. But that young man had over 50 offers. He's got an absolute sniper rifle of an arm. If I had to put out NFL quarterbacks he reminds me of, he's got the arm talent of Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees right now. Arm talent, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees right now with the mindset of Tom Brady. That is Paul Tyson to me. And according to people close, credible, respectable sources I've built up within this program that's got some tenure, he has been eating up the offensive schematics that Sarkisian has been throwing at him. Paul Tyson's just looking for an opportunity, but the young man out of Hewitt-Trussville High School was a big-time star throughout his tenure there, and the guy can play ball, just waiting for a shot here at Alabama. When you look at Bryce Young, Nick Saban has already said it. He's in love with this dude, loves the character, the family he comes from, the charisma. He's made up of the right stuff. Once again, started his high school career at Cathedral High in Los Angeles, California, before transferring to the powerhouse in Mater Dei in Santa Ana. The guy's got an arm. He's got elite athleticism. The main thing with him, he's got to get that weight on. 5'10", 5'11", about 185 pounds. So, Scott Cochran, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. Got to get the weight on this young man to compete in the Southeastern Conference. But the talent's there. Watch some clips of it. Watch the clips of him in high school. Big-time talent, big-time prospect. He's a 5-star for a reason. I watched the All-American Bowl in Texas, threading the needle, dropping passes on a dime. But folks, 334-654-9385, a number to get a part of the conversation. But right now, we take that second commercial break.
If you want delicious home-style cooking, sushi, and hibachi, check out Oro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At home, you can't get away with fatigue because the Crimson Tide is about to store? Don't worry, delivery is also available through Waiter and Crimson to Go. That's Oro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And make sure you let them know the good folks at Touchdown Alabama sent you.
Now, as we drop on into this next topic, JP, and this was one that I kind of did not want to get into because in my mind, I thought I was over this. I really thought I was over this. And my mind was focused on Alabama men's basketball at the time as it, played against Missouri, got a big win over Missouri. Of course, they got a big win over Auburn prior to that. So I'm watching Alabama men's basketball, and the SEC network starts to broadcast the national championship parade for LSU. Now, me personally, I'm fine with people celebrating national championships. I mean, for LSU, this would be their first title in 12 years. I mean, the last time they won a title, I was in the 9th grade. I was a high school freshman. I'm trying to figure out who I am as a person. I'm in the 9th grade here. It's 2007. So when you win your first one in 12 years, you do embellish it a little bit. You overly enjoy it. You get caught up in the height of the ecstasy. I mean, I get that. And then when you look at LSU, of course, you have that old statement, act like you've been there before. But in terms of LSU, they can't quite do that because they've never really been there before on a consistent basis. So it is what it is. But watching the parade here, JP, and you have Jacob Hester on stage, and I respect the heck out of Jacob Hester, former LSU Tiger. So Jacob Hester's on stage, and he's talking with Joe Burrow, And I don't know if they tried to dress Joe Burrow like he's Flavor Flav meets Bruno Mars or something like that, because he's in there with shades on, with 30 different Mardi Gras beads on, looking like one of those rappers from the late 1990s, early 2000s, whatever the case was. But Burrow's talking to Jacob Hester, and Hester just basically goes, okay, I understand you're not for individual awards, you're a team guy. So what was the team Heisman moment for LSU? And Joe Burrow kind of looks at Jacob Hester and goes, well, it's got to be the moment when you went down for Tuscaloosa, right? I mean, that game was complete domination. The scoreboard may not indicate that, but we dominated that team. And just when I thought my mind, John, was ready to get over it, just when I thought my mind was ready to be mature and get over it, you know that commercial where you have the you and then the inner you, the two Kermit the Frogs battling with each other, the you and the inner you? Well, the inner me just said, Steven, bump that. You gotta discuss this. Like you gotta discuss this. So I don't know what's his version of domination versus my version of domination, because my version of domination is you took the will, the soul, the fight, the spirit from the opposition, and they're on the sideline dejected. And not one time on November 9th, 2019, because I was there, not one time on November 9th did I see Alabama dejected at Bryant-Denny Stadium. If anything, Alabama was itching to get back on the field every single time. I mean, you won the game by 5, for crying out loud. Now, I can think of a number of different moments when Alabama completely dominated LSU. For starters, let's talk about the 2012 BCS title game off the 2011 season, shall we, Joe Burrow? I think we should. Alabama destroyed LSU in New Orleans, Louisiana, Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Score was 21-0, shut you completely out. You couldn't even cross midfield. Well, you did once, but it didn't work out that well for you. You get shut out 21-0. So that was complete domination. I mean, you guys and head coach Les Miles at the time looking completely dejected like a motherless child or a prom night dumpster baby on the sideline there. And then two years later, you go to 2013, the regular season, in which Alabama won that game at Bryant-Denny 38-17. And poor Zach Mettenberger, I mean, poor dude got murdered. Got sacked, 5-6 times? And the last time he gets hit, he's crawling on his hands and knees off the field. That guy got hurt worse than these single mamas out here hitting these baby daddies with that child support check. That's how bad Zach Mettenberg got done. Like, he is crawling off the field on his hands and knees after getting it handed to him. 38-17 in 2013. So that was domination. And then how could we forget the lovable 2018 season where Alabama goes to Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was there. I was probably parked in Lil Boosie's front yard. I believe I was parked in Lil Boosie's front yard. But I get inside Tiger Stadium, right? And, I mean, shutout. 29-0. Joe Burrow couldn't do a doggone thing. Literally, his offensive linemen were getting bench pressed into his lap by Quentin Williams every single time. And then you got Tua Tagovailoa, who on that day, on a bum knee, runs 44 yards past your best linebacker in Devin White to the house for a touchdown, and you lose 29-0. That's domination. That's domination. What you did in Tuscaloosa, Joe Burrow, you escaped, son. You escaped, because domination would be you won every quarter of that game. LSU did not score a point in the third quarter of this past matchup, for those of you who saw that. Also, Alabama outscored LSU in the second half, 28-13. That second half was a heavyweight prize fight. That was Ali Frazier. I mean, that was a prize fight in the second half. And then Tua, on one ankle, giving you the business. I mean, 418 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Najee Harris ran like a grown man possessed. I don't know what Sean Alexander's sweet feet told him prior to the LSU game, but whatever Sean Alexander told him, I need to get that injected into my veins right now, because whatever that was, Najee Harris became an absolute menace from the LSU game throughout the remainder of the season, but he ran wild. And then Devontae Smith, Smitty just jiu-jitsu'd Derek Stingley. I'm talking about over 200 yards receiving for Smitty and 2 touchdowns. You win the game 46-41 LSU. And this is how you know Alabama still pays the bills in college football. This is how you know Bama keeps the lights on, they keep the water running, they keep the food on the table, they're putting clothes on the backs of these children. This is how Alabama football is doing. This is how you know Bama's doing it, okay? Because after LSU beat Georgia in the SEC title game, you saw no fancy celebration. None. They just walked down the aisle. Good game, high five, good game, way to go, pat on the butt, good game. No fancy celebration at all. And then LSU just mauls Oklahoma in the college football playoff semifinal at the Peach Bowl. No fancy celebration there. And then LSU wins the national championship against Clemson. No fancy celebration there. But against Alabama, somehow, no championship game, no college football playoff, but against Alabama, somehow there is Gatorade dumped down Coach O's shirt. And then Ogeron is dropping F-bombs in the locker room. You got to know that Dylan Moses, Christian Harris, and Christopher Allen will definitely remember that. And then, on top of this, when they get back to Baton Rouge, Joe Burrow goes running down the runway, high-fiving fans left and right. That's how you know the better game of the year, the bigger game of the year was Alabama. Just seeing how LSU reacted. LSU did not dominate Alabama, people. Self-inflicted mistakes hurt Alabama. You remove a fumble by Tua Tagovailoa and an interception by Tua Tagovailoa in that matchup. Let's just say LSU does not score those possessions. Alabama doesn't score either, but let's say LSU doesn't score. You're looking at a halftime score of 19-13 in favor of LSU, a 6-point deficit without those 2 turnovers versus the halftime score being 33-13, a 20-point differential. So a differential of 14 points if you alleviate the 2 turnovers. Alabama did not get dominated by LSU. Self-inflicted turnovers, mistakes, caused that issue right there. But folks, 334-654-9385. Want to hear your opinion on this mess LSU's talking about. But we're going to take another commercial break here.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to sgsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today.
Well, excited about Freddie Roach coming on in here to coach the defensive line. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully they make that move official soon. To me, I feel like Mac Jones is enough to get Alabama a national championship, but spring ball is fun, people. Spring ball is interesting. We will see once and for all, once those pads come back out, that grass is freshly cut, you get the helmets clanging, footballs being thrown through the air. Who is the guy? Is it Mac Jones? Is it Talia Tagovailoa? Is it Bryce Young? Does Paul Tyson swoop through and take it from everybody? I mean, this is why we enjoy spring ball. So we'll check out that quarterback race there. And then also Joe Burrow. Hearing this from me, man. LSU did not dominate Alabama. Self-inflicted mistakes killed Alabama. There you go. Hopefully you have a great career with the Cincinnati Bengals, because you are probably going to the most worst ran organization in all of the NFL, but I digress from that statement. But going to be interesting to see Crimson Tide football moving forward here. But for all of us at Touchdown Alabama Magazine, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. For the maestro, JP, for all of our great sponsors, Utero Hibachi, STSFootwear.com, and Title Towel, this has been In My Own Words, the podcast. Till next time, folks, peace.